I like Independence Day. I like it when Will Smith goes.
Welcome to Earth.
I like it when Jeff Goldblum's dad goes.
I mean, look at me. I look like a schlemiel.
And I even like that cheesy speech the president makes in the third act. Although I don't like it when this guy salutes, that guy can go fuck himself. But the film is really interesting from a semiotic point of view as well. And if you're one of those people who says, hey, I think sometimes, people read too much into films, then please just give me a minute whilst I try and dispel a few myths about that whole idea of reading too much into things. The main point I want to make is that just because Independence Day subconsciously depicts a war against masculinity, which I'll get back to, it does not mean that the conscious narrative is any less important. The film is about aliens invading and being defeated. It just so happens that this story is partly communicated by using a number of recurring motifs which depict the compromising of the masculine phallus. However, these motifs only work subconsciously to help our conscious understanding of the film. The war against masculinity does not have to eclipse the war against aliens if you don't want it to. Some people just find it fun to understand how meaning is generated because then you can learn a lot about people and society in general from doing so.
Alright, go ahead.
Back to Independence Day, or as it could perhaps be called, End of Penis Day. This is because images of the male phallus are constantly compromised throughout the start of the film before ultimately the Earth is castrated in the second act. In fact, the opening shot of the film wonderfully preempts the castration by depicting an erect United States flag being shrouded in shadow by an alien mothership. We immediately know that the US is in trouble just by observing this striking image. But okay, why did these images necessarily relate to castration? Are they not just cool shots? Can they not just be threatening and ominous without having to be related to phalluses? Well, as I said before, meaning in film can be generated on simultaneous levels. Different shots can communicate different meanings. The shots are cool, the darkness is threatening, but you have to wonder why the darkness has to overshadow these phallic structures. Why not solely just show shots of people panicking in the streets? Would that not communicate enough fear? Well, it doesn't, because these shots merely depict hysteria and the scale of the panic. They do not communicate that the balance of the world will soon be completely shifted. Instead, it is this symbolic overshadowing of these phallic structures which show that society is going to be completely turned on its head. A stalwart for the construction of society has been the traditional dominance of the masculine over the feminine. However, in Independence Day, this traditional phallocentric idea is challenged. This is represented visually by the masculine image of the phallus being compromised by shadow and then destroyed when the aliens become hostile. Castration. We see the familiar image of an erect phallic object positioned by an opening to which it seems poised. It is the imagery of a penis and a vagina. Traditionally, the Empire State Building should be the object to act upon the opening. However, something completely contrary to this accepted convention happens. The feminine image of a possible vagina acts upon the masculine image of the phallus and actually blows it up again and again and again. This isn't the way we have come to expect this image to work, and this is perhaps why these scenes are the most memorable in the entire film. They do not just show an amazing spectacle of physical destruction, but a complete reversal of our traditional perceptions of sexuality as well.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now, I'm not saying that the filmmakers were consciously attempting to do this. They simply have to speak the same visual language that many of us have grown up with, so by default, they are largely unable to escape the shared language of the subconscious, so consequently, the images they make will be encoded with loaded meanings. However, in Independence Day, it is interesting that this subconscious stream seems to permeate into the filmmaker's more conscious aesthetic decisions, plot points, and character arcs. We can see how the world is only put to rights when the dominance of the masculine phallus is reinstated. Here, penis is entering vagina, normality is restored. Again, men entering vagina, men blowing their load inside the mothership, men using the symbolic phallus of technology to achieve dominance. Here, man achieves his ultimate dream.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
Here, passive man becomes man of action. These are men who smoke cigars. These are men who go on and on about smoking cigars.
This is important.
These are men who have wives. They get married just before they leave for their mission. They are proper heterosexual manly men. Traditional sexuality relations are restored, then aliens are destroyed.
All right, what's the bad news?
But who are these aliens in Independence Day? Are they women? The aliens are designed like maternal mothers bearing children. Also, besides the constant visual references to vaginas, all the named 5 people who die in the film are feminized characters. There's the First Lady, some dumb hippie bitch, a homosexual, a guy feigning homosexuality and a mock civil partnership,
This is a wedding ring.
and a flamboyant long-haired scientist who gets completely shot down by an indecisive president.
The last 24 hours have been really exciting.
Exciting? People are dying out there. I don't think exciting is a word I'd choose to describe it.
All these guys have feminine traits, and they all die. Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum don't die, they have cigars. Bill Pullman doesn't die, he's a fighter pilot. Oh, and I forgot about the redneck. Well, it's not as if his masculinity was compromised at any point during the film.
When they took him up in the spaceship, the aliens abused him sexually.
So Earth is under attack from giant vaginas, but they are finally beaten by 2 dicks who penetrate the mothership, give her a virus, blow their load, and leave in a massive explosive orgasm. And it's okay because the only people who died were some bitches and faggots. But now you can see that I'm not referring just to symbolic images in the film, but plot points and character traits too. And when that happens, it becomes easy to find conflicting arguments. Like, if the aliens are a feminine threat, why do they kill effeminate people? Why does the redneck address the aliens as boys?
Hello, boys!
And what about all the other people we didn't know who died? It's here when you begin second guessing the filmmaker's conscious decisions, and that's something I think you can't really do without talking to them in person. This is why, although we can characterize the threat in Independence Day as being distinctly feminine, this realization is not some hidden code which completely reduces the film to a battle of the sexes. As I said, it is a film about aliens, explosions, and American pride. But it is the signifiers of sexuality which we have identified that enable us to understand the events in the film, because ultimately, that is how we perceive sexuality in society as a whole.
David, haven't you been watching?